Hi, everyone. Steve Adubato. We kick off a series of conversations under the banner, Who Will Teach Our Children? And we'll have a whole range of experts in the field of education talking about that. And we're joined today by Dr. Nora Hyland, Associate Professor and Associate Dean of the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers University, my alma mater. Good to see you, Doctor.
It's great to see you too, Steve.
All right, you get the color. You see this? Is the appropriate color?
That's right. You've got Rutgers Scarlet.
Just checking. Hey, listen, let's be serious. I'll stop goofing around. Who will teach our children? There is a real teacher shortage. We've lost a significant number of teachers over the last several years. What impact has COVID had on exacerbating the teacher shortage challenge that already existed?
Well, we know that COVID was stressful for teachers. It exacerbated existing stressors. It also coincided with what I would call some manufactured culture wars that happened at the same time. So though it's hard to tease out, but certainly we know that teachers by and large are very dissatisfied. We are at an all-time low of teachers saying that they're very satisfied with their jobs. We're down to 12% nationally.
12%?
12% of teachers nationally report that they're very satisfied, down from 62% about a decade ago.
Go back to the culture war issue. So critical race theory, sex education, it's what it is. It's not what people often say it is or imply that it is. What has the controversy, or controversies plural, around critical race theory and sex education, what impact do you believe it's had on teachers who are on the front lines of that, along with boards of education and educational administrators, et cetera? Go ahead, please. I'm sorry, Doctor.
Oh, it's fine. I think it's increased the stress load. I mean, these are teachers that are often and historically, increasingly in the last decade, been blamed for social ills that they really don't control and can't control, and yet they are held responsible and often sort of publicly blamed for them. But then on top of that, these manufactured culture wars make teachers nervous about doing their jobs, which really are not very controversial. These are manufactured controversies that put teachers in very challenging positions with communities and families.
I'm sorry for interrupting, a little delay. Do you, in your research, and your colleagues, when you talk about this, do you incorporate the issue of school violence, school shooting, school violence into the equation as to why there's the teacher shortage that there is? Is it part of it?
It's an interesting question. We haven't seen that particularly has been a part of it, although, you know, it's such a plethora of stressors and decisions that teachers have to make every day. And increasingly things like lockdown drills, that increases the stress that people experience.
Now, our daughter is in middle school and has some wonderful teachers in the public school system in our town. But I do wonder about the teachers who are left. If there's this shortage, not if, there is, it puts tremendous pressure on the teachers who remain. Be more specific about that pressure on them, A, and B, the impact it ultimately has on students, particularly students of color.
Yes. So whenever there's a teacher shortage or a shortage of any public resource, the effect of that shortage disproportionately affects our lowest income people in a society. So, and that's true with teacher shortages as well. But in every school, regardless of the income level of the community, teachers are seeing fewer colleagues. They're teaching subject areas that they're not licensed to teach, perhaps. They're more likely, when their colleagues are absent for the day, to have extra kids come in their class that they have to figure out what to do with because they can't get substitutes. Teachers are increasingly hearing from parents or other political organizations, asking them for commentary about different curriculum initiatives. Those kinds of things increase the stress and impact a teacher's capacity to teach the kids in front of them. And we're seeing this more so, of course, in communities of color and in low-income communities.
If you're listening to us on the radio side, this is Dr. Nora Hyland from the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers University. She understands this at a very deep level. I want to follow up on the question of potential, I don't even know if you call them solutions, but they are remedies, some things that would make a difference. Obviously, paying our teachers more, but making a commitment to do that, even if it means, yes, that's right, potentially raising taxes, property taxes in your community. Oh my God, we have the highest property taxes. That's true in the nation, we do. But if we don't pay our teachers more, that's problematic. But in addition to paying them more, what else are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about benefits as well. So we know that we saw a precipitous drop in interest in the teaching profession in 2011 when Governor Christie changed the benefit packages for public employees. We also know that
Health and pension.
Correct. It was Chapter 78 cuts. So we know that our state legislature, I think, is actually really invested in creating solutions, and they're getting creative. So in some ways, they're beginning to remove some barriers, redundant performance-based assessments. The Senate just voted to approve the governor's conditional veto on that at TPA assessment.
Hold on, I'm sorry for interrupting, Doctor. Let's make that clear. What we're talking about is student assessment or standardized tests. The number of them, the redundancy of them is being what? Reduced?
This is actually a teacher performance-based assessment that's required for pre-service teachers to enter the profession, but it's a redundant one because we already have performance-based assessments. So
that's just to get into the profession?
Correct.
Are standardized tests for students part of the this issue as well, or am I confusing things? Oh, yeah. It is part of it.
Yeah, we test our students a lot, and then teachers are held responsible for student test scores, which to some extent they should be. But when we are testing and over-testing, that becomes the single measure of student success. And we also know that that success is so deeply linked to other social factors that are outside of teachers' control. So, but the other things we can do is we can pay attention to what's happening locally. Parents can offer teachers a little bit of grace around class size, lesson plans, testing, and understand that they are under a great deal of pressure. Right now, the state is looking at the education code.
A few seconds left, Doctor. I'm so sorry. Just a few seconds left. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
But we should pay attention to what's being proposed in the state education code, and people should make comments on it. We should be engaged in the process.
It'd also be nice if you keep the educators in the schools out of quote unquote partisan politics. That would be nice.
It would be.
I'm sorry. My job is not to editorialize. I apologize for doing that. Dr. Nora Hyland, Associate Professor and Associate Dean of the Graduate School of Education at Rutgers University. Who will teach our children? A critically important question. We'll continue to explore in that series. Thank you, Dr. Hyland.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You guys stay with us. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Hackensack Meridian Health, the New Jersey Education Association, PSE&G, Valley Bank, Summit Health, MD Advantage Insurance Company, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the Northward Center, and by the Russell Berrie Foundation. Promotional support provided by NJ.com and by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine.
How do you create change? By cultivating hope. And we see that every day. In the eyes of our preschoolers, in the souls of the seniors in our Adult Day program, in the minds of the students at Robert Treat Academy, a national Blue Ribbon School of Excellence, in the passion of children in our Youth Leadership Development Program, in our commitment to connections at the Center for Autism, and in the heart of our community, the Northward Center, creating opportunities for equity, education, and growth.